Sky News has obtained polling showing the Northern Territory's Labor government faces a huge battle to hold power at next year's election. Matt Cunningham joins me now to go through the numbers. Matt, who's done this polling and what does it say exactly?
Well, Tom, it's been done by a company called Media Reach, who have done polling here in the Northern Territory before that's been quite accurate. It was commissioned by a Conservative businessman by the name of Owen Pike. Now, it's interesting looking at these numbers. This poll has been conducted speaking to 645 people in Darwin and Palmerston. They were interviewed by telephone, both mobile and landline, and it's got a margin of error of about 4%. But if we look at the primary vote here, Labor's primary vote has fallen to just 29%. Now, that is a fall of some 13% since the 2016 election. The CLP is on 39% and independents are on 22%, with the Greens and others making up the numbers. Perhaps even more concerningly for the Chief Minister will be the performance rating of Michael Gunner. His satisfaction rating, those who are satisfied with the Chief Minister, sits at just 23%, while those who are dissatisfied with Michael Gunner's performance is at 70%. So a net negative 47% rating there for Chief Minister Michael Gunner on his performance. When it comes to the preferred Chief Minister, though, perhaps some slightly good news for Michael Gunner. He is ahead of the CLP's Gary Higgins. Now, on those numbers, Michael Gunner is at 29%, the CLP's Gary Higgins at 21%, but the bolter there is Terry Mills. He's the former CLP Chief Minister who has turned independent. Now, he has just announced this week that he's starting his own party here in the Northern Territory called the Territory Alliance. So interesting that he is so far out in front there as preferred Chief Minister on 37%. And when it comes to the CLP, it's perhaps not all good news for it as well. You remember that the CLP was kicked out of office in spectacular fashion in 2016. It's left with just 2 seats in the parliament. Well, people were asked the question, is the CLP ready to govern again? Just 23% of respondents said yes, 33% maybe, and 39% said no. So those are interesting numbers, Tom. That's for sure when it comes to both of the major parties here, who both appear to be somewhat on the nose. I did speak to Owen Pike, that businessman who did commission this polling, paid for it out of his own pocket. He said that what he wanted to see was some of the major parties, perhaps the Liberal or the National Party, step in here in the Northern Territory, given that both of the Labor Party and the Country Liberal Party seem to be so on the nose. Here's a bit of what Owen Pike had to say.
My parents started their business here in the Territory with my dad operating out of the back of a ute. We now have a business that employs 200 people. We have every dollar we have ever made invested here in the Territory. We live here, we're Territorians. Although this polling did cost a significant amount of money, somebody had to stand up and do what's right to get the stats to show the people and show the Liberal and National Party what they've got to do.
It's interesting, Tom, on the point that he's making there. 39% of people who were polled said that they would be willing to vote for another major party if it did establish a foothold here in the Northern Territory. I'd have to say, though, that that is unlikely. Terry Mills tried to get a Nationals branch established here in the Northern Territory. That was unsuccessful. The Federal National Party wouldn't be up for that. I think it's unlikely also that the Liberal Party would intervene here, but it will make for an interesting election. We're just 12 months away from an election here in the Northern Territory, and I'd say the likelihood now of either party holding a majority government after that poll next August would be low. I think we're heading for minority government territory here in the Northern Territory.